she actually got constipated. So we now steam roast. That's good. Your babies will love it. And if they don't, there's always McDonald's fries. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Nikole and I'm so excited about today's video. It has been highly requested. I am finally doing an official baby food meal prep video. So this is what I've been feeding Sage from 6 to 8 months. She is now officially 8 months and it's insane. She's growing so fast and she eats so much. I know people say around this age, like food is for fun. No, she shovels it down and loves eating. So far, she hasn't hated anything. So fingers crossed it stays that way. But I've been getting so many messages from other parents asking for an official food prep type video. So I am doing, this is gonna be like a 1 hour meal prep video for like a month's worth of food, if not more. I find this will last quite a bit, if not maybe 2 months, depending on how much your little one eats. And I'm gonna actually have a full downloadable guide for your grocery shopping and a breakdown of all of everything that I'm prepping in today's video. So grab that in my blog post. A link will be down below. Also, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do so. Click that button down below. Click the bell so you are notified every time I post a new video. I post here every single week. I got mommy content, vlogs, food, recipes, all the things. So there's definitely something for everyone, but let's hop in. We're gonna get right into it. I already prepped a little bit. Well, I prepped a lot. You're gonna need about half an hour worth of prepping. So add that onto the hour of like everything cooking. But it's important just to have everything prepped and ready to go. It just makes things so much easier. And that way, if your little one is like pulling you in one direction, you can still kind of like maybe sit them next to you and just kind of still get things into the oven while entertaining them, because a lot of times I have to do that. Daddy is with Sage right now, so I'm hoping we are good to get this video done in time. So I have a mixture of, we got some protein, carbs, veggies, fruit, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, a little bit of everything, so you can really mix and match for each mealtime, which I love. And a lot of times I just freeze everything into little cubes and then pop them into the fridge the night before, and then it's thawed and ready to be reheated the morning or day of. So first thing we're gonna do is, I guess, do the roasting, because that's gonna take the longest. So we're gonna roast cauliflower, sweet potato, and carrots. I'm gonna show you guys a steam roasting method that I really enjoy doing. Oven is preheated. So I'm gonna get my sheet pans out and get these prepped to go into the oven, and then we'll work on the rest of the things. Okay, so I have a sheet pan lined with just a silicone baking mat. This is actually the one from our shop. And I'm gonna do half cauliflower, half carrots, and I'm gonna do what is called steam roasting. So the reason why I'm roasting instead of just steaming is that it's actually gonna add some more flavor, since you can't add any salt to their food at this age. This is just another way to kind of amp up the flavor. And I like to add the water to give it that steam, because it just helps soften it and give it some moisture. I found when I just did roasting, it just made the carrots too dry, and then she actually got constipated. So we now steam roast, and I find it just turns out much better. And actually, I'm gonna chop these in half. They're still a little bit big. Okay, so I just cut them in half, and I'm just gonna lay those out. I also have a little bit of water that I'm gonna add to the pan. You could also add some bone broth here that's unsalted. I don't really measure how much water, I just do kind of a thin layer across. And then I'm gonna get some foil. So you're gonna take the foil and just cover it. And that's gonna help keep the steam in so it doesn't dry out. And then, like I said, the roasting is just gonna help give it some flavor. So we're gonna pop this into the oven, and then we'll prep the sweet potatoes next. So for the sweet potatoes, same thing. I have a baking sheet lined with a silicone liner. So I'm just gonna add sweet potatoes or yams, whatever you have. I always think they're the same thing, but they're not. Like, technically yams are smaller, but I feel like they taste pretty similar. Now, so they don't explode, you're gonna take a fork and you're just gonna jab some holes in them. It's actually probably easier to do these with sweet potatoes, because these are gonna just be more to open up, but it's fine. And I don't add any oil or anything, I just roast them dry. And I'm gonna pop these into the oven as well to get nice and soft and caramelized. And honestly, these are delicious just as is. So next we're gonna steam everything. So I'm just adding water to the pots. I just do about 2 inches. All right, I'll bring it here so you can see. I love this little silicone steamer insert. Just makes it really easy to pull it out after. Then I like to do a mixture of broccoli and peas. When you're first introducing food, you might want to do like one ingredient at a time. And I like to buy my organic frozen peas from Costco. You can get like a huge bag of them, super cheap. I think it was like $7 or $8. I have a full like baby-led weaning grocery haul video you guys can check out with all the things I love to buy for Sage. And this is a great go-to. They're getting their greens, calcium, and just lots of fiber and veggies. So I'm gonna just pop a lid on and let it steam. I'm gonna have all the instructions on how long I'm steaming everything over on my blog post, so check the link down below. Also, if you're wondering how I learned all about feeding Sage, I actually took an amazing course that I highly recommend. That will be in the blog post. And I also have a full like blog post on my baby food resources, which is like all the products like utensils, plates, bibs, and any tools that I use for feeding Sage is all listed there as well. So everything will be down below. I just know as a new parent, like navigating feeding your baby is like a whole new world, and I'm just trying to make it easier for you guys so you're not as like confused as I was when I started. So you're welcome. Now for the chicken, I'm actually gonna use bone broth to steam it. I find it just adds more nutrients, more flavor. So what I do is I'll buy or make, like let's be honest, not everyone has time to make bone broth, but I get it from a local health food store. They make it in-house, and then I just freeze it into cubes so I have it on hand. So I like adding in bone broth instead of just water because it's gonna add more flavor and more nutrients. And when your little ones are only eating a small amount, you wanna make sure you're packing as much nutrients into that food as possible. So this is a great way. So I'm gonna bring this over to the stove and then I'll add in my chicken. So I'm gonna place a little steamer basket inside. So I'm using organic chicken thighs, and the reason why I'm using dark meat instead of white meat is it's more nutrient dense. In my opinion, you got more iron, it's just more flavorful, and I also find it's easier to eat. I find white meat can be a little bit drying. I'm just gonna place that in there. And I'm not gonna chop it up or anything. I know it sounds weird to steam your meat, but it does add a lot of flavor and moisture. It's easy to blend up or shred it if you're doing that style. It's very versatile once it's actually cooked, but this is the method that I prefer to do. I remember when I first started cooking chicken for Sage, I was so confused about like pureeing meat, but this is just a great way to do it, and I think it just makes the process that much easier. So I'm gonna bring this to the stove, and we're gonna cover it and steam it until it's fully cooked. All right, we're just gonna keep rolling. We're gonna do applesauce next. I have some organic apples. You're gonna need about 6 for this recipe, and you're just gonna peel it. You could leave the skin on. I just feel like it's a really nice consistency peeled. And then you can save the peels to snack on them or give them to your dog. Cashew loves meal prep scraps. Like I give her like veggies and fruit and stuff, and she loves it, and nothing goes to waste. And then you can just compost the rest. So we are gonna peel it. You don't wanna pre-peel them because they will go brown. It's a little tedious. I want one of those like apple peelers, those like fancy ones. I gotta look on Amazon. Apples are all peeled. I'm just gonna cut them into segments, leaving the core. By the way, make sure you don't feed the cores to your dog because it's actually not good for them. Right, Cashew? Okay, I'm just gonna place them right into, I just have a medium sauce pot here. And I'm telling you, there's something so simple and comforting about homemade applesauce. And it's really easy. So it's not one of those things that you're like, oh yeah, homemade applesauce. Like it is so easy and just takes minimal ingredients. So we have our peeled chopped apples. I'm gonna add a little bit of water and then some cinnamon. This is one of my favorite spices to give Sage, especially in the beginning. You wanna keep it pretty mellow, but have fun with spices. As long as they're not spicy or salty, I think it's a great way to add in flavor to their food. So I'm just doing a little bit in there. And also think outside the box, like adding cinnamon to even sweet potato puree is delicious, and obviously like oatmeal and stuff. It's so good, and it's like a nice warming spice that goes with a lot of different things. It's not just for sweet things. So I'm gonna pop a lid on and we're gonna cook it on the stove until it gets nice and soft. As I said, all the instructions will be over on my blog post. Everything down below in the info box. Because I know I'm gonna get questions in the comments. I'm looking at you. It's in the info box. It's always there. So we have our steamed broccoli and peas. We're just gonna transfer it into a bowl so we can puree it. And I'm gonna use the exact same water and steamer, and we're also gonna steam the peppers in the same pan. Save on dishes. So you can just use water, but to help it blend a little bit easier, I'm adding in some breast milk, especially when they're first just starting out with purees. You want them to be a little bit more like smooth and runny. It really just depends on the baby and what they're comfortable with and what you're comfortable with. I do like to have mine with a little bit of texture, like a thicker puree, but I still add a little bit of liquid. So I'm gonna add in some breast milk, and I always have some in the freezer that I just thaw out on meal prep days, and I also will just add it into our food when I'm reheating it if it needs some more moisture. Now you can use a lot of different tools to blend and puree baby food. You can of course use some muscle and a fork if that's what you have, but you can also use a food processor, a blender, but my favorite way is a hand blender or an immersion blender. This is really easy, they're inexpensive, and besides baby food, they're great for soups, so you don't have to like transfer it into your blender, and they're just really handy to have. You can even make mashed potatoes with this. So we're gonna mash up our broccoli, our peas, until it's the consistency that you want for you and your baby. And that's how easy it is to blend it up. I'm just gonna scrape any leftover mixture on the blender. Okay, and everything is a perfect consistency. And in case you're wondering, we do a hybrid of purees and baby-led weaning style, but you can still do purees with the baby-led weaning style. I like to preload spoons and have Sage feed herself and really connect and get messy with the food. I think it's really important. You don't have to just do purees as a spoon-fed method. Just so you know, I feel like when people think of baby-led weaning, it's only handheld foods that are large, and maybe you're not comfortable with that yet. But the food course I took really goes into detail on both styles, and if a hybrid method like us is the way you feel comfortable with, I think you do what you need to do. Like, don't do what's trendy, don't do what everyone else is doing. You know your baby best, and that's what we did with Sage. And now I'd say she's doing like more handheld foods, and it's been like a really easy, natural like progression. But in the beginning, I felt more comfortable with like thicker purees. Okay, we're gonna set that aside, let it cool, and then we'll start getting the next item to blend up. I feel like a conveyor belt. All right, chicken is done, nicely steamed. Maybe it doesn't sound that appetizing, but I promise your baby will love it. So you just wanna make sure it's cooked all the way through, but as you can see, it doesn't look dry at all, and it pulls apart really easily if you wanna do it more of a shredded, like haystacks for your baby to pick up and eat as they get older. But I'm just gonna transfer it to a bowl. And then as your baby gets more comfortable, you can add like some spices like garlic or fresh herbs or something. I think the bone broth adds a lot of flavor, so I haven't added too much to it, but I know a lot of people will do like garlic chicken. What I like to do is now you're gonna save that bone broth and you're gonna add it into the chicken to help it blend. So you're cooking it, you're steaming it in the bone broth, and then you're also using all that flavor and just adding it in. I'm just gonna do about half. And of course, we're gonna take our favorite blender and blend it up. It's that easy. So the other thing you can do too is add in some of the veggies too in here. It doesn't have to be just chicken. I like to keep them a little bit separate so then I can play around and change it up every day. But you could add carrots and peas and stuff to this, and even rice, and just make it like a full meal so it's ready to go. It's like a chicken pate, but it smells really good, honestly. Like, spread that on some crackers, I'd be down. So we have the sweet potatoes or yams, whatever you're using. They are nice and soft. I'm gonna grab a fork and do the piercing test. Oh yeah. So now with these, you're just gonna slice them open, and then you can just scoop out the puree. You don't even have to blend it, which is nice. All right, we have the carrots and cauliflower, and you'll see they have a little bit of color, especially the cauliflower. And like I said, it just adds more flavor. So same thing, I'm gonna transfer these to a bowl, add a little bit of liquid, and then just blend it up, and it's ready to go. So next we are gonna make some oatmeal. So I have a mixture here of oats that I just ground up, and then I also have some barley flakes. So this is gonna cook up into a really nice smooth texture. You can also add some iron fortified baby cereal to this, or just do that in the beginning. If you didn't know, one of the main reasons why you need to start incorporating food for your baby around the 6-month mark is because of their iron needs. So basically around the 6-month mark, their iron stores start to deplete. So you wanna make sure that they're getting iron from the foods that they eat. So I like to make homemade oatmeal, and then I just make sure that Sage also gets iron from other foods that she's eating. She's eating basically just whole foods that I blend up and add different spices to, so I know she's getting a lot of nutrients, and she's also still getting breast milk. And then for liquid, we have some breast milk, and then I'll also add some water. And then when you're reheating it, you can add more breast milk if you want, just to help thin it out. I'm using the same pot that I cooked the apples in, so you get that flavor from the apples and the cinnamon. We're just going to warm up the liquid first, and then I'll add in the dry ingredients. So now that my liquid is heated, I'm just gonna add in the oats and barley. Now, I'm actually not gonna add any fruit or sweetener to this because oats are actually quite sweet. And just because we want our oatmeal sweet doesn't mean that your baby does. They might think it's sweet enough, and I will usually serve this with fruit on the side, and that way I can switch up the fruit quite easily. I am gonna add in some cinnamon, which can make things taste sweet naturally, which I love. It's like a little trick to making your dessert and stuff taste sweeter instead of just adding in more sugar. I'm just gonna sprinkle that in. And this is gonna make a lot of oatmeal. We're gonna need her soon to try the applesauce. Just gonna whisk that right in, making sure there's no lumps. I'm gonna bring it back to the stove and just let it cook. It cooks up pretty quick because the oats are already ground, and then the barley flakes are super quick too. It's nice if you're making it the morning of because it's really fast, but it's even faster when it's prepped ahead of time and you just have to heat it up. And like I said, you can add whatever you want to it. A lot of times I'll add in some sweet potato or carrots, and that adds like a nice natural sweetness, and you also get some veggies. So now for the mango, I'm doing the same thing. This was just frozen mango that I let thaw, and I'm gonna just transfer into a bowl. I have the same one that I did the applesauce in because less dishes. Just gonna add that in, and then you can just blend it as is if this is the first time that your baby is having mango. But if you wanna spice things up, I'm gonna add in some fresh lime juice. So if you wanna add some extra flavor, I'm just doing half of a lime. And it's gonna add a really nice zing to it, and it's also just gonna help keep it nice and fresh. Everything is officially cooked and pureed. I put everything into containers. These are airtight containers, so they'll stay nice and fresh in the fridge. But what I like to do, just because obviously everything's not gonna stay fresh for the entire month that this will last for, you wanna make sure to freeze some of it. So what I love to do, I love these silicone little molds. These are really easy because you can pop out the food once it's frozen super easily. You don't wanna do like ice cube trays that are hard plastic. It's just gonna be a pain. So I have a couple of these. I actually need to buy more. So what I do, since I only have 2 of them, is I just basically will fill these up, put them in the freezer, put everything in the fridge, and then over the next couple of days, I'll just kind of like rotate and freeze. It's not the most efficient. I have to order more, but it's what works for us right now. And then honestly, I just keep some of the stuff in the fridge just because I know I can add it to her meals. The oatmeal and some of the veggies, I'll just kind of pick and choose what she's gonna eat that week. All right, there you have it. At least 1 month of food for your baby in about an hour. If you add in prepping and cleaning, obviously, maybe give yourself some more time. Although I'm gonna call in Daddy to help clean up the dishes. You have a nice variety of nutritious homemade food that you can feel really good about giving your baby. And honestly, this is mostly organic, and it is still cheaper to me than buying the pre-done baby food. Oh, this is not baby-proofed here. Okay, let's put it over there. Okay. You hangry? All right, so we're gonna let her try the fresh applesauce. You do it? You do it, okay. That's good. Don't forget to check out my blog post down below, get my free downloadable guide on how to do this meal prep at home for your baby. And if you guys wanna see more videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. Also, leave me a comment down below letting me know what foods your baby loves and doesn't like, and how old they are. I'm just curious. Okay, we're gonna get this in the fridge. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. I post every single week, and there's lots of this little cutie. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Yay. She only knows hello, but it's basically the same thing. Say bye. Mwah. Okay. Bye guys. See you soon.